Erica, it's nice to have you on the show. I know you travel and do workshops and classes all across the country.
I do.
I don't know how you ever have time to finish anything, but then again, like you pointed out, you're in motels and hotels and things.
Yes, I am.
If people are like I am, I love to have handwork to do when I'm doing nothing else or watching TV.
Right.
So what is this technique and how did you
So
learn?
the funny thing is, when I was in Kansas City several years ago, the Kansas City area this is really big in the Kansas City area.
Oh.
And it's called twilling. And instead
Twilling,
of doing
not twilling. Okay.
with a T. And so instead of doing a back stitch, it's a specific type of knot. It's also called the palestrina stitch, which is a very old embroidery knot.
Oh.
And so if you look really close, you can see that it's a knot. And so again, instead of the back stitch, you just go ahead and do a knot all the way around it. And I love the effect that it gives.
I do too. It almost looks a little bit like a chenille because it's so three-dimensional.
Right. Yep. And you use a pearl cotton.
Oh.
And a chenille needle to do this stitch is what I
Okay.
use. And I use, it doesn't matter, I use a 22. That's what the chenille needle, number 22, that's what I'm comfortable with. And then pearl cotton, a 5 or an 8, it doesn't really matter. There's no specific rules. You know, if you want a bigger knot, then you get a thicker number.
Sure.
So,
Spread it apart a little bit,
Right.
maybe more.
But yeah, this is a really fun stitch to do, and I'm glad that I got it. I wanted to point out that, see the word cone and all of the little lines, those are backstitched because when you're doing twilling, you want to have an object that is large.
Sure.
Because if you were trying to twill in that, it would just look like a cluster.
You probably couldn't even read it.
You wouldn't be able
as
to read
small
it.
as the-
Right.
the-
So I
see,
kind of
that's
mixed
a good
it.
point. And then let's take a look at the
Okay,
quilt
this is
behind
well,
us.
this is called Ice Cream Social, and I think it's just adorable.
I do too.
And then this one is called Colors of a Rose, and a lot of people think that that's applique, but it's colored with colored pencils.
Oh, and these are too.
Yes,
I
they
thought,
are.
I was going to ask you about that. Colored pencils.
Colored pencil. And this is called the Love Wagon.
I love
I
all
think
the
it's just very
parts
cute.
in that.
Yeah.
And if a person were really energetic, they could do the twirling on all the stars.
Oh, if
and
they wanted
everything.
to, yeah.
But I have to admit, I played with this last night for quite a while. I got an inch done.
Yeah, that's good.
But I think it's like embroidery or anything else. You sort of get your own rhythm going.
You do. It takes you a couple of times, and then you'll get it, and it'll be your own style and your own speed and your own size.
Well, show us how to do this.
Okay, so whenever I'm doing any kind of embroidery, normally I always put an inexpensive piece of muslin behind what I'm working on, even when I'm twilling, but this is just a sample, so I'm not going to do that. But just keep in mind, because what that does is it helps the thread and knots from showing through the front of the fabric when you double back it.
Oh, okay.
Okay? All right, so with twilling, there's 3 steps per stitch.
Okay.
All right. I'm right-handed, so if you're left-handed, then you want to reverse.
Okay.
All right, so wherever the line is, I'm always not going to have that line directly at me, okay? So the first step I'm going to do is take this string from this side of the line over to the other side. Okay. So see, I'm going to come down about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to make about 1/8 of an inch stitch. Okay. So see where the line is right in the middle of my stitch? I'm going to go ahead and pull it through. Not too tight, not too loose. I just let it lie.
Oh.
Now the most important thing is put your thumb on top of that floss, because for some reason everybody always wants to go, and you were doing it yesterday.
I was doing it.
But that's okay. Everybody wants to have that floss go up, but just make sure that you know that this floss always stays down. So I just put my thumb down. See the little leg I just made? I'm going to take the needle and go right behind it and pull it through. Again, not too tight, not too loose. Keep your floss down, so put your thumb on it. So this is an easy thing to do, because now you want to find the same leg that you went through. So I'll take my thumb and just kind of roll it up. So now you can see there's 2 legs. There's 1, 2. I'm going to go right through that exact same leg that I already went through, and I'm going to pull it towards me. And there's your knot. Don't pull it up or anything. Just pull it towards you.
I was going to say, when you first showed me yesterday, I found I was really tight with it. I really wanted to pull those stitches.
And you also were making smaller stitches. So again, once you get in rhythm of how you want it to look, then it'll be consistent.
Okay, you promise.
So now I want to do this one more, I promise.
Okay.
I want to do this one more time a little bit faster.
Side.
So again, 3 steps. 1/8 of an inch down. Take the floss over. Go through that leg once. and then go through it again twice.
And it, like you say, roll that stitch up
Yep.
with your thumb, and you can find that leg a little easier.
Yes, you can.
Oh, great. Well, I just thought this was such a beautiful effect, and it really changes
I love
the
it,
whole
and I'm telling you, it's addictive.
I bet it is,
once
too.
you get going
Yeah.
on it, you'll love it.
And then, you know, a lot of things like embroidery and zigzagging stitches and satin stitches, they may go out for a while, but then they come back.
They
maybe
do.
sort of reinvented.
They circle right back.
And you said a lot of people maybe miss the first go around of doing making the little yo-yos. I think those are fun to do too.
Well, I do a lot of presentations, and in the presentations I show what I've made with yo-yos, and a lot of women actually don't know how to make a yo-yo. So I kind of wanted to show the basic old-fashioned way of doing it. There are yo-yo machines out there, but I prefer this way. And here's the deal. I've been on the road, and in hotel rooms, I can't just sit still. And I need time to wind down from driving. So if I don't have something new that I'm working on, I need something mindless to do. So I got back into yo-yos because they're very mindless. So I got to a point where I have a ton of yo-yos. And I thought, well, what am I going to do with all of these yo-yos? So I make little wall hangings.
Now, is this pencil colored?
This is also
like
colored pencil. Yep. This is part of a workshop that I teach. So,
gosh, that's pretty.
Yeah, they're cute. This is a wall hanging. This is called Liberty Barn.
Oh, I bet that's popular, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The
Yep, and I'm just going to
Americana.
lay it up here. But I love the effect because I love the old-fashioned look. And yo-yos to me are very old-fashioned looking. So
I
when
think
this
so,
is
too.
hanging on a wall, it looks like it's an old-fashioned quilt hanging.
Sure.
So real quick, I just want to talk about, now I don't have any fabric to cut out. I've already cut out all of my circles. But what you do is you find the fabric that you like, and I like to get charm packs because they're in 5-inch squares. And depending on how big you want your yo-yo to be, I believe that whatever the circle is, half of that would be the finish. So if you wanted like a 2-inch square or a 2-inch yo-yo, you want a 4-inch circle.
Piece of fabric.
So this is like 4.5 inches. And so
fine.
I just put it on the back side of the fabric, and then I trace a bunch of them and cut them out. And you can use a mason jar lid or just anything that you find laying
CD
around.
or whatever you have.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, so
just know to double the size. Whatever size the yo-yo is, you want to start with a double size.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so here's some that are already cut out. So you're going to have the wrong side. The most important thing to remember is that whenever you thread your needle, make a very large knot.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
But it is single thread. You have
It is a single thread, so you have I got a little tail hanging there. So I'm just going to fold this down about a 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to stay sort of to the top, and then I'm just going to make about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch stitches. And as I'm turning it, I just keep on fold that down.
And you're kind of, since that's on the bias, it sort of folds into itself once you help it, get started.
It does. But you just keep going as far as you can. Usually I'll get halfway around the circle, and then you want to pull it through.
Oh,
But as you pull it through, just make sure that this is always on the inside, that you're working with it going the right direction.
And don't pull too hard
Well,
and
not
break
yet.
a stitch.
And I did this one so that once you get all the way around the circle, we're going to get to the knot that I made. So it's kind of important that you go, well, let me do it this way. When you come up for your last stitch, you're going to come up right above that last knot.
Okay, right above it.
And then you're just going to pull it through. And now you want to pull it tight.
This is where you're
Yeah.
gathering it.
So
Is
we're
what
just-
you're doing.
Now I usually do this sitting down, and I use my leg to tie the knot. But you wanted a big knot so that you can actually grab onto it.
Oh, I see.
And then you're pulling both of those through, and then you just pull it tight
And then
like
you
that.
just tie
And
a
then
hard
I
knot.
make about 3 knots, and I hope I don't break this thread. Oops. Oh, that's important, is that I use quilting thread.
Oh, okay.
Because it is
That's
stronger. Okay, so do a couple of knots. And then you just want to trim the threads. And then you just want to, I think
Because when you attach them, you're not using those thread tails. I see what
No,
you're
you're
doing
not.
here. You're
But when you attach them, you take the needle with a knot, and you're going to want to go up on the inside and come out of the edge right here.
that hides your knot.
And you then get the other yo-yo, and then you just whip stitch it, and then open it, and that's how you connect them.
And you tell about making room for a dowel or something. How did you do
Okay,
that? Those are doubled,
there's
aren't
one
they?
down here that I only did a single layer.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
Okay, this is called Peaceful Day. And so there's only one row of yo-yos on here, except for the top row. I did an extra row and then folded it over so that you can make room to put a dowel rod through there.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, and again, that's just with the whip stitch.
And this would be a great table runner, wouldn't it? If
It
you
would
just-
be so cute.
Oh,
May I show this one?
Yes, let's do.
All right, this is called, what is it called? Primitive Barn. And I just love the look of it. And all it is really, whenever you're doing the yo-yos, and you can do them any length that you want, all it is one strip that hangs over a dowel rod. And what would be cute is if you did this picture on both ends and laid it flat as a table runner.
That would be neat.
I think that would be very cute.
And people can go to your website.
Yes.
What's the address?
It is unseenhands.net.
Unseenhands.net.
Yes, it is.
And you just have all kinds of beautiful samples
you.
and ideas, and some people maybe already have an idea how to work on it, but this will be new for many of us.
Good, I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Erica.
Thank you so much.